loyalty to the county employees on the part of the executive,
And
understanding of what that decent standard of living means to people.
well, to the standard of living of your community, to the pride
Yeah.
that you have in that. And you know, one of the administrators told us, these people, no matter what, whether they work for the county or private or for profit, who are caregivers are saints. They're servants of God. They don't get paid enough. None
No,
of
they
them get
don't,
paid
right.
enough for what they do. If you can imagine the kind of job that it takes to care for a bedridden human being, you know, for months and months at a time, cheerfully.
Or Alzheimer's too, my God.
Right,
Alzheimer's.
they have a large Alzheimer's unit,
yeah,
and the
of
people
course.
there are veterans. There are 34 veterans there. There are teachers, there are former librarians, there are firemen, there are school bus drivers, there are
Postmen.
steel workers, postmen. It's
Probably
just
fishermen.
wonderful. Go meet them.
Absolutely.
They're
Fishermen.
fantastic.
Okay, thanks a lot. Roy and Karen Harvey, we kind of beat to death the nursing home wars, which is going on, and which we will probably win ultimately, I think. It'll come out best for everybody. I wanted your take on a couple other things. How's Governor Cuomo doing? What do you think? How's the state doing here? You know, a lot of the funding comes out of the state, and it looks like they're chopping things. They chop Medicare for one thing, or Medicaid. They chopped the Epic. I think they destroyed Epic. It's over. He saved $3 trillion or something like that, $3 billion with his new Epic program. But when you take that much out of it, yeah, something's got to go.
Well, it's curious. He represented all the things opposite of what some of the people who supported him, because he was a Democrat, I guess, like the Tea Party, what the Tea Party advocated, they didn't look at him. And he turns out he's just doing just the opposite of what they were thinking or fooling themselves. Self-deception is what I would call it. What do you think? Self-deception is a key element here?
There's just a ratcheting down of essentially a deindustrialization process that's going on. It's been going on essentially since Clinton and NAFTA and GATT, and all of these states, almost all of them with a few exceptions, are just adjusting to the mandates of the federal government, which require greater and greater cuts. And you have a president who essentially takes on the lies of the previous president. Obama took on all of the lies that were articulated by the Bush administration, the necessity of a war in Iraq, the necessity of a potential war attacking Iran right now, the destruction of Libya that just happened past the 1 year. 6 months they destroyed a complete country. We'll be paying for that forever. It's a moral outrage. And so you have this essentially an immoral institution at the top with the various Congress going along with it, and this is passed down to the state, and then it's passed down to the county, and that's where it's really so important. The county is a sort of the government of last resort.
And it's also the closest government.
That's right.
You get more response from
Absolutely.
your county.
You can never,
you
try
actually
talking to
have-
Schumer.
Yeah, sure.
You can talk to Kathy Young, as you point out.
Right, and you can talk to your sheriff. Your sheriff is
Yeah.
elected. Can you imagine such a thing at the state and the federal level, an elected police person? This person is responsible to this community, and he takes that seriously, and he will examine the Constitution before he enforces some of the laws that the federal government is talking about with this security state move that they are under, and that's where a lot of the money is going.
Yeah, police and Constitution. You know, remember when they were chasing that guy who was who had escaped?
Bucky and the Rye?
Bucky. When they were chasing him, they stopped me at a stop up near Casadega.
Oh, us too.
And they said, we're going to check your trunk, open your trunk. I said, hold it, wait a minute, you have to have a search warrant for this. And he said, well, no, we don't really. I said, you don't really? He said, we're just looking for Bucky. And I said, well, what if you found something else
All
in
my
there?
drugs.
He said, we wouldn't see it. What if you found another dead body in there? Would you see that? He said, no, we wouldn't see it.
Well, that's
Exactly.
So I acquiesced rather than waiting for them to go get a search warrant and spending half the day over there.
Well, it's one more indication of a sort of sliding into a police state.
Yeah, yeah.
That whole
No
phenomenon. They're doing it
Constitution.
right now
Yeah.
at Southwestern High School. Apparently, there's
What are they doing over there?
They're going to have a drill that says we're have terrorists in the halls, and all the kids are going to get freaked out, and they're going to have SWAT teams come running
To
through, and
reinforce
everybody's
fear,
gonna hide
really.
under their desks, whatever.
They're going to probably check all the lockers.
I don't know, but it's a drill.
We
Drills
do,
are-
we do think we have an extraordinary legislature. We have some profoundly decent people in the legislature here in Chautauqua County, and we think everybody has the best interests of the people in mind. And it's very fortunate that they've initiated this committee, the legislative committee, to look into this, because they probably will come to a coherent answer, because that county home, outside of being the pride of the people of Chautauqua County who know of it, is a potentially large moneymaker that we should not give away. And it's a safety net. When the federal government dries up its various monies with Medicare and whatever, we'll have that safety net for the people.
Because they keep cutting back on them.
And Kathy Young's office has already indicated that she is working on that state. It's a funny thing, because it's, according to one administrator, the reason that there's an archaic law that it benefits the insurance companies, it benefits the private care facilities to say you cannot have assisted living at your public home. But the public home is not allowed to do it because there's this word in one of the laws that says prisoners. And prisoners can't have some sort of specific...
It dates back at least 100 years, this law.
Yeah, and they have to change the law. And
Yeah,
Kathy Young's
that's
working
stupid.
on it. We
That's
hope she gets
really
it straightened
It's,
out.
it's part of government that's handcuffing itself.
Yeah, well, you know, they
This
have
allows
these
it to
archaic
function well,
laws.
if it doesn't.
In New York State, until very recently, I'm sure, you weren't allowed to trap a mouse because it was illegal. It was a mammal, and you couldn't trap mammals without a license.
Yeah, and
You
that's
broke the law when you trapped a mouse.
yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem with the county home as opposed to private.
these old
because the public can move much less fast than the private. The private can make quicker adjustments. They can raise lower wages and so forth. Right now, the wages are apparently higher, but that doesn't include benefits. And also, there's a thing here. There's a lot of private homes that are very good care facilities. There are a lot of them that are not-for-profit that are very good. But this is not, you cannot project this as a phenomenon that's going to last in perpetuity, given the nature of the federal government and the crisis that exists on the state government. So counties really have to hold the line, as many of them are doing. Many are just refusing to sell, knowing that that would be ultimately down the line a disaster.
Okay,
These are the
We've
counties-
mentioned this a number of times. I wanted to get to another thing. How about the Sheriff's Department? Now, you mentioned Joe Geraci's department and what a job he's doing. You know, they're cutting him back, too. And there'll be less patrols in this county, which means that less people will be protected.
Well, I can see that they're conjoining, just like this discussion about the high schools, the 4 high schools perhaps joining forces because they have less money, less teachers, less students. That's an interesting phenomenon.
Why won't they combine?
Ripley.
Why won't they combine?
Well, that
Yeah.
was the discussion at the last school board meeting, and Mr. Spitzer, who's the school board's superintendent, mentioned the fact that we are going to see an economic tsunami. He said the wheels are coming off the bus. And
Now,
if we
Spitzer's
don't,
the
he is
president. What school?
superintendent of schools. So he welcomes the notion that since Chautauqua Lake Central School has more classrooms, has an excess of classrooms, has a lot of teachers and a lot of programs, why not bring the Ripley, the Brockton, and the other people up here? We have some dissension amongst the engineers here. The students don't like that idea. They feel that that's imposing a whole different ballgame on their life and their future, I'm understanding. But when you see that Ripley has a graduating class of 16, and you know that Brockton has no classes because they don't have, they don't offer enough classes so that their valedictorian can't get into a university because she didn't have enough electives, because all there were the basics, because they couldn't afford to have many programs. So you have to weigh the pros and cons, and obviously I haven't heard all the cons.
Why is there such resistance to a common sense, what looks to me like common sense, the combining of certain elements of school districts that are right nearby?
Your parents and grandparents went to that little school.
You
want
have your own
children to
football
go
team,
you have your own
basketball team.
football team. It doesn't get
Have
collapsed.
community pride.
But like, if you really do face a tsunami, when your economics become impossible, you have to join forces. It's like, I can fight with the men, or I can say I'm upset about the Tea Party's thing or other, but if Martians landed today, we'd all join forces, we'd all be buddies, and we defend ourselves. When we have an economic collapse, we will have to find solutions to
Well,
solving it.
some schools already, I read in the paper last year, had up to 50% hikes in their taxes school taxes, which is enough to knock you dead. I mean, again, we're the highest tax county in the United States. No, that's clear.
It's true.
What's going to happen more? You know, seniors are winding up in their children's basements. They have to sell their house, and this is what they eat. This is I can't mention the name, but it's a cat food. You know, during the Depression, seniors ate cat food. Actually, the tuna cat food isn't very bad, and it's about half the price of tuna. And the beef, especially if you put a lot of mayo in it, and their beef strips are pretty good, but you have to drain them, clean them, wash them, and then you put some real gravy in them, and they're pretty darn good, you know.
A little cayenne, that'll help.
Heat them up a little bit. I'm writing a cookbook on cat food for seniors, and there are a lot of different things you can do at half price.
I want to get back to what one of the principals said. He said,
That's schools now.
They said, "This is look at us. This is your future. We have 16 graduating. We have no teachers. We have
What
very
school?
little."
16 graduates?
Ripley says we are unable to sustain our school. Our tax base is too low. Chautauqua County has a very nice benefit of having the Chautauqua Institution. Property taxes make it possible.
And Chautauqua Lake, I might add.
And make it possible for us to have a fine teaching facility with great programs, and everyone should take advantage of it. You can live in a $30,000 house in Ripley and send your child to the top of the line, the finest school in the region, because we have a tax base to support it. Thank you, Chautauqua Institution.
And Chautauqua Lake.
Right.
You know, there are millions of people who live around the lake, and they pay full taxes for their water, which they don't use during the winter. They only use it a month a year. They pay full electric. They pay electric. They pay huge taxes on the property, and they only use it a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month a year. And they don't really drain anything. The county doesn't do anything for them. They don't need schools or taxes or police protection or anything else. They're gone most of the time. What a wonderful windfall for the county.
Although there was some break-ins just a week or two ago.
Yeah, well, that's always part of the game, but then again, you carry insurance for that reason. You don't leave your best silver in the house either when you're gone all year.
It's also a nature sanctuary.
What is?
The birds are back. The white, beautiful snow geese come and sit there on the lake because there's nobody there. The people aren't there. It feels like a nature sanctuary. The swans come, and have you ever seen snow geese?
I've
Amazing
seen the
creatures.
swan.
And loons?
I think the loons I've seen many a time. They go, you'll never see much of them, just a little neck running around, and then boom, down they go. They spear fish. We also have the oncoming of a beautiful, beautiful sight, the bald eagle. The bald eagle, it's back. You know, I just got this.
We have a scoop for you, though.
What the heck is this thing?
Can do a scoop?
Nobody turned this on. Go ahead, quick.
We have a small scoop for you. We think that there's something to watch. We have a question. We question the fact that WCA Hospital and its minions, who are very much part of the county government and who are also tight with the numbers,
We're out of here.
controlling the numbers.
Close off. Quick.
Hammett Hospital, watch it. It's got 12 of these large senior places, and it's expanding into this region.
My daughter works there in the ICU. Okay, we thank you very much, Karen and Roy. I wanted to give you just a few seconds to yourself, Roy, to close off. 30 seconds.
Okay. It's very important that people take a close look at what's going on with the county hospital. We don't want to see a premature selling of one of the finest, most proudful institutions that Chautauqua has developed well over 100 years. And we should take a look, support that county hospital.
Support your county hospital. Thank you very much, Roy and Karen Harvey, for giving us a little insight on that. And I hope things go well, and we'll be looking for your video. Okay, and it'll be carried by all over the county, actually, because we're all over the county here.
I think you've got the Victorian sleigh coming up, don't you?
Okay, we're doing that. We have it right now. Chuck Kelsey, thank you. Chuck built this beautiful foundation. Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt, Chris Ramaker, Jeff Zook, our long-suffering, brilliant engineer, Don Zenz, our cameraman, and John Hamels, who is out and about. I want to thank everybody for listening. Get out there and do a little skiing, ice skating, having fun. Don't forget the ice castle. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.